All right, so Joker Folie Deux is coming out in October, just in time for Halloween. And the trailer, it's gotten some mixed things. A lot of people feel a certain way about it being a musical, which, you know what, I honestly understand. Now, I've already made peace with the fact that this is its own universe, it's its own thing, it's its own rendition of the Joker. It's not comic book, accurate. So, of course, they're going to be switching around Harley Quinn's spot in it. She's not a doctor like she was in the movie, or at least like here's the thing about the Joker movie. That could probably be the case. And the only reason I'm long shotting that is how much was going on in Joker's mind in the first film that ended up being completely fiction. That ended up throwing us all through a loop. Who knows? Maybe Harley Quinn might actually, the rendition of her, the homeless Harley Quinn, who also ends up in the insane asylum, or the musical therapist or whatever part she's playing is just a figment of his imagination, so he can feel like more confident around her, or like his mind's making certain twists, like his mind's become like less reliable. And that could go hand in hand because obviously like everyone's like, oh, it's a musical. Well, yeah. If you went absolutely insane, do you think 1 out of 10,000 of the possibility areas your mind can go is where you're in a musical and you're singing and you're happy? Because I remember the first movie, that staircase had so much symbolism. And this has been covered before. But if you don't know, now you know. That staircase that he's constantly walking up was supposed to be symbolic of like a mental illness that he has, where he's trying to fit in this box that society has for him, even though society's not giving him any reason to stay in that box. Like he has a deal with society where he stays in this box to get tortured pretty much day in and day out. So by the end of the movie, when he finally snaps, puts the makeup on, and becomes who he was meant to become, he ends up going down the stairs in celebration almost. And it just kind of seemed to me like that dance scene was super symbolic about him giving up the uphill, unwinnable battle of staying in this picture-perfect frame for, everybody. So when he goes down those stairs, obviously, he doesn't have that pressure anymore. He's happy. You actually look at the end of the movie where he's actually running from the two detectives and he goes on the show to confront Murray and then he does the shot heard around Gotham, right? His laughs, most of them aren't even the fake nervous one that comes from his mental illness. It's a genuine laugh where he's like actually enjoying what he's doing. Like you could tell that with when the two detectives are in the subway and they're getting beat down by the angry mob. He's like actually genuinely laughing, not the fake ha laugh, but it's like a genuine, like he's finding this amusing. So it's almost the same thing where like you look at that musical aspect. Now, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if they're going to be writing their own musical numbers. In fact, who knows? Maybe Joker Folie Deux is going to have a soundtrack that, we're going to do. I don't have anything against musicals. They're not my favorite thing in the world, but I do like music and I do like a good story. So if you could intertwine the two of those, I guess we got a deal, So I'm not going to just sit there and judge and act like I'm beyond a musical number or anything like that. Because you know what? There's times where I've actually gone and watched musicals with low expectations and I've actually been blown away because I found some of the songs catchy, But I think what I'm seeing from this trailer is going to give a bigger understanding to mental illness that therapists have been missing for a while. Is that a lot of, not all, but I've noticed a lot of people change as the environment, treats them. If you treat someone bad enough, obviously, eventually they're going to snap. If they get disrespected enough times, obviously they're not going to take it enough times. I think that's like one of the 101s of mental health, that obviously if you're in a welcoming environment, you're less likely to act out. If you're in a hostile environment, you're more likely to do really bad things. And that's another thing, is I could make a whole other video about why I'm not a big fan of like the therapy industry or anything like that, because I think a lot of it just tries to sell you on a bunch of pills to numb you and keep you from lashing out, when there might actually be some deep-seated emotional needs that aren't being met for a lot of people. That's just my 2 cents. So but with Joker Folie Deux, what I'm seeing in this trailer is now the shot heard all around Gotham at the end of the first one. You're going to have the Joker be like a hero and idolized, and then he's going to get a positive feedback loop from finally snapping and lashing out at the system that's treated him so bad and the system that's failed him, because a lot of people are resonating with that. You see that because I remember I just recently made a video on like DBDR and everything like that, and how he's completely missing, and also his audience reaction to him just completely disappearing, because he's a voice that a lot of people who feel devalued by society can resonate with. You kind of see that in the Joker, where it's like, now that he's finally done what the world was egging him on to do, and he was carrying these bricks of, I better not snap because the society that's already treating me bad and already doesn't care about me is going to look at me a certain way. Now he understands that he's not met with as much judgment as he was. And I think with that, we're going to probably see something with Arthur's psyche, where he's going to realize how much he's been gaslit and how much he's been kept in the box, which might actually feed into the rage that's going to become like a full manifestation of the actual Joker, where soon he's not even going to be one called Arthur Fleck anymore, but also you're going to have Harley Quinn, who is going to be the love of his life. And maybe with this new rendition, it's not going to be as toxic of a relationship as it was in the comic books, because anyone who's read the comic books understands that Harley Quinn and the Joker have a very toxic relationship, where this one seems more mutual. It just kind of seems like they are both bonding over being mistreated, and it just kind of seems like he's amongst his own kind now. And I think there's some celebration in that, even if the rest of society is trained to look at that area of society, like the mentally ill, as something to stay away from, even though they don't understand the full picture of what it's been like to walk in their shoes to get them to that point. It just kind of seems like, to me, like it's going to be more of a celebration, and he's not going to care what anyone else from any other upper echelons or sane people are going to think, because like the last line in the first movie really drove a lot more home that I'm starting to see bleed into this trailer, where it's like you wouldn't get it. He tells the social worker interviewing him, like, what's so funny? And he says, you wouldn't get it. He's done being validated by people, because he has found his flock to the point where he knows his family, he knows where he belongs, and anything else is just zip. So honestly, I know that I'm kind of dreaming right now, but that's where I'm kind of hoping they're really going with this. But I think if the writing on the wall says anything that the last movie said, where it's like, some of this might be a delusion, so we're going to be thrown through a loop in our seats, I'm expecting that too. So I'm not expecting it to go completely 100% as predicted, especially when it's a film about madness itself. But I'm actually intrigued, if anything. I'm not putting this film to like a perfect standard, like it's going to be a 10 out of 10 on something that's not the tomato meter or something, because we all know Rotten Tomatoes has bias, let's be real. But the way I could view it is, I'm very open to what this film has to offer. But that's what I got to say about this. Like, I was actually thinking about the trailer for a couple days, and it took me a couple days to put into words what exactly I'm looking for and what I'm looking at. And, I got to be honest, October is going to be here before we know it, and let's bring it. I want to see this film. I want to see how they go with it, and usually you would think a Joker sequel was not necessary, but they completely proved me wrong, at least with this trailer. I'm hoping they prove us all wrong with the movie, and we want to see a third part. But that's what I got to say. We'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out.